Alright, gentlemen of culture, this is the second time recording this video because somehow I didn't save last time. So I'm less bored than I was then. I'm kind of irritated now. Anyway, we're going to be doing a shoe review of all the shoes that I used in my freshman cross country and track and field season. Matthew, you want to say hello?
Hi.
Yep, that's my roommate. I've dealt with him all year long, and he's great. Um, let's see here. We're going to start with very first shoe got when I got on campus, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5. I ran the Speed 4s in high school for cross country, and they were really good shoes, but they had a tendency for the styrofoam to just kind of like blow out on you. And the Speed 5s were better because they were like more thick at the back, and like the whole bottom of the shoe was held together better. They feel great. I really liked them. They were about the only shoe I had at the time, and I probably put like 400 miles on them in like 4 or 5 months. And they're retired now because I literally cannot comfortably run in these anymore. But they were really great for the time, and yeah, this is a good shoe. I really like this shoe. Next, we have the next shoe I got, which is the Adizeros. This is a really cushiony shoe, a great trainer shoe. I put a lot of miles on this shoe too. I got it around Christmas time, and it is already beat up pretty bad. Only downfall about this shoe is it doesn't have a lot of like support. So if you try to do any sort of workout on a track where you need to make a quick turn or like just even go on the turns fast, this is not the shoe for that. But it is really good for just normal long easy runs. It's really comfortable, and you can even get some speed on it. So I really like the Adizeros. But they're probably gonna be retiring pretty soon because like it's got like a hole in the top, and like it's beat up. I've used it a lot. Um, Next we have an old pair of Nike Vaporflies. A friend gave them to me because I needed to run a 5K, and I didn't. It was a road race, so I didn't want to wear spikes. And this was a great shoe. I really liked it. It was kind of beat up when he gave it to me. It's even more beat up now. I've used it a couple of times since then, for a 5K on the track, and then also I wore it once for race walk. That was terrible. That was actually terrible. Um, but yeah, I really like the Dragonfly. This is probably the first ever carbon blade shoe I'd ever worn, and I'm not sure how I raced without them because it feels so much better than running in any other flat. But yeah, these are pretty beat up. I'll probably be retiring them also, but for the moment, I still have it in my arsenal. Might use it one or two more times, but I really like the. I think this is the Vaporfly 2. So if I ever get another Vaporfly, it'll probably. I think they're up to Vaporfly 4 now. But yeah, this is a great shoe. I love it. Um, then we have the Nike Zoom X Vomeros. I picked this up when we were at our spring break trip in Florida. I really like the look of them. I'll sometimes just wear them around campus. It's a great shoe for looks. It's cushiony, so it's comfortable. Only thing is, I don't really care to run in them that much, or I didn't. It's gotten better, but I think my calves were used to running in the Adizeros, and when I switched to these, whenever I'd go anything like faster than like 7 flat pace, um, it made my calves like tighten up and just feel like really tight and uncomfortable as soon as I finished running. So it might just be adjusting from one shoe to the next. It hasn't been as bad recently. I think the longest run I've gone in them is like maybe a 10 mile easy run. Um, but yeah, this is the Vomero. I do like it. I just don't like it as much as some other shoes that I've had. Style wise, though, I do really like the Vomero. It's great. Um, and then lastly, most recently for my flats, my trainers, well, this isn't even a trainer. This will be a race shoe. I got today, I just went out and bought the Brooks Hyperon Max. Or maybe it's Hyperion. I don't know how that's pronounced. Anyway, um, this is a nylon plated shoe. I'm really excited to get to run in it. I rolled my ankle a few weeks ago and haven't really been running since then. So I still need a couple weeks to heal. But as soon as I'm back, I'm going to try these out. I'm really excited. They feel really good on my feet when I put them on. And it just looks like a cool shoe, so I'm excited. This is basically replacing my vapes, but yeah, I'm excited to try this out. Now moving on to spikes. First, we got the very first pair of spikes that I had when I got here, which is the Brooks Draft XC spikes. I wore these for all of cross country season, and they were a good shoe. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using them next year or not. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just they didn't really have a lot of pop, and around mile 4, I would always feel like I just had no more speed. I was just plodding along, just one step after the next, and these shoes didn't really help. They just kind of got swallowed up by the grass, and I don't know. I might try wearing those Brooks Super shoes for like a cross race or two, just to see if it's any different. But if not, the Draft XC might make another appearance, or I might get a different pair of spikes. I don't know. We'll figure it out as the time goes on. But for what they were, this was a decent shoe, and I think I did wear it for an indoor mile once before I got any other spikes. But it doesn't really have any. It's more just like, I don't even want to say comfortable. It's forgiving on your feet more so than other shoes. But yeah, wouldn't be my first pick. Then I went and bought over winter break. I got a pair of like $45 Adidas Sprint Stars, and they're fine, but they're literally what you pay for, so they're pretty cheap. They're decent if you're into a sprint, like a 200 or 100, like repeats in them or something. I wore it for an 800, indoor 800. It was terrible. It's probably the worst 800 I've ever ran in my life. I forgot which lap I was on. Didn't even kick. It was awful. But I have long jumped in them a couple times, and they're fine for that, so I'll keep them. I'm not going to throw them away, but yeah, I'm probably never going to race in them ever again, unless, God forbid, I get put in a 200 or something like that. And then I have the shoes that I wore for pretty much every single race of my freshman career, which is the OG Dragonflies. These were a hand-me-down that I got. They're still in good condition. I wore them for pretty much all of my 800s, all of my 1500s, all my miles. Yeah, I like this shoe. It feels comfortable. It feels natural on my foot, and it has a good return. And when I go to kick with it, it feels good. So I really do like the Dragonfly 1. This will probably be the shoe I wear next year unless I pick up some more like modern spikes, which I will most likely be doing. But if I do steeple next year, which hopefully I will do, this will more or less probably be what I'll be wearing. Then we have the Nike Zoom Victory Elites, which was another hand-me-down. There's also in good condition. I usually have only worn this for in relays when I have to run a 400 leg, whether it's a 4x4 or a DMR. That's when I've worn this shoe, and it's pretty good. It's light. It has a good return. It's definitely better than the Sprint Star, but I haven't really worn it that much for anything else, just because the Dragonflies were a better choice. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this shoe. I'm going to keep it around, but and I don't know. It might be a contender for using it for steeplechase. I'm not sure, but I'll have it. It's a good shoe. It just doesn't have a lot of like cushion or anything, but it's good for what it is. And lastly, for spikes, I have Nike Zoom Triple Jump Elite, which I wore one time for long jump. Haven't long jumped since then, but it felt really good that time that I did. I hope we get to long jump again in the future, or any other field events that if I ever did, I'd probably be using these maybe, because I don't really want a whole collection of field shoes. But I did like this shoe, and it felt really good to jump in. It had a good like grip on the track, and like when I went to pop off for the P step, it felt good. But yeah, that wraps up all my shoes, I guess. That's all my spikes, and that's all my flats. That was pretty fun to make. Hopefully the video saves this time. Matthew, you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
He's being creepy. All right, and I'll see y'all next year.